everyone. Welcome to another episode of Explore Traveler. I'm your host, John Gentry, and I thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy day to listen to, my tips and tricks on traveling. And I thought today, since we just switched over into 2024, I would give you maybe my, top 3 to 5 things that I see changing, both positively and negatively for people who are wanting to travel internationally. So there's several. I think let's preface it by the types of travelers, right? So you have people who are vacationing, right? And these vacationers are normally 30 days or less, right? And really it's probably 2 weeks or less, but let's just say 30 days or less. And then you also have kind of the young person taking a gap year, got a backpack trip. They're not going to stay in one location for maybe too long, maybe a month at the most, and then they're just kind of moving on, right? And then you have the expatriate, right? And the expatriate, that's something that we do, and a lot of others do, and we do it with the understanding that we work for a multinational company, and that particular company pays for the expenses that we need living abroad, right? Maybe not totally, but there's a lot of subsidizing going on there, right? Now we have to perform a function, and that function could be anything from engineering to management or project management. I mean, it really just depends on what you're doing. I've done several different roles over the years internationally, so it kind of just sort of depends. So 2023 versus 2024. I think 2023, the big thing that we saw was they started tacking on these prices on airline tickets, calling them, they were full fuel subsidies. In other words, they were complaining that the cost of fuel was too high, but they didn't want to raise the price of the plane ticket, so they would basically put a tax, a fuel surcharge tax, on your ticket right before you checked out. So you're searching for the cheapest plane ticket, you see, oh wow, it's $1,000. That's affordable, right? And then by the time you get done with the ticket, it's closer to 1,500 because they've added federal taxes, they've added state taxes and airplane taxes, and now this magical fuel surcharge that clearly has not gone away. So that started in 2023. I expect that will continue, and I'm actually leaning towards the second half of the year, inflation kind of coming back up again, and those charges will most likely be increased. It's highly unfortunate, but that's kind of what I see, and that's what I'm planning for myself and for my family. So, fuel surcharges 2024 are not going away and may even go up. So that's one of my, 2024 predictions. Another one that I think this one's somewhat positive is because of technology, we now have the ability to, so we now have the ability to search for plane tickets, right? Now, I'm a big fan of using Expedia and Google Flights to look for deals. Now, I may not finish buying something through those sites, but I will use those sites to kind of get ideas like, oh, wow, so this particular airline, Qatar Airline it seems to be the cheapest out of all the airlines. Let me go over to their website and see what kind of deal I can get directly from their website. So I think those types of tools are going to get better, more intuitive, and I think it's going to get easier for us to track and to get notifications when a better flight ticket deal is coming forward and this year in 2024. So expect that technology to be rolled out. There'll probably be some startups to come out of this. Who knows? But I expect that to be a positive, and we might be able to offset some of the other, fuel surcharges and such, and taxes and things like that. So we might be able to offset some of those negative aspects that are coming as well. The third, I want to just talk about that there appears to be a trend. This is kind of a sensitive topic, but I'm starting to get the feeling that governments do not want their citizens traveling abroad. And it might be for various reasons. And I think if you travel abroad, you're going to gain a much better evaluation of what's really going on in the world and the geopolitical game that is afoot internationally. And I don't think countries want you to have their own opinion. I mean, you can take that for what it's worth, but propaganda is pretty heavy all over the world now, and I do not see that going away. So what I'm trying to get at is I think there's going to be a growing trend where they're going to create zones and they're going to heavily discourage people from leaving whatever zone that they live in. And that's going to include going on vacation and moving abroad. And I have noticed a trend over the last 30 years that companies are discouraged from using Americans to set up new facilities abroad, even though it's easier. Because if you're an American company and you're wanting to set up something that's American, it's easier to bring just Americans to get that done, right? And then you train the local workforce, et cetera, et cetera. So those are my, I guess, top 3 things for 2024. I'm going to try to do some more podcasts, but I hope this one reached you. I hope you got something from it. So make sure to spend some time if you happen to be, I don't know if you're listening to this on YouTube or on one of the podcast stations, but you listen to our past podcasts, our future podcasts, and make sure to go over to exploretraveler.com where we post articles pretty much weekly, and we've been doing this for many years now. So we thank you very much for supporting our podcast channel, and wherever you may be around the world, this is John Gentry and Explore Traveler out.